The man who walks alone is not bound by the expectations of society. He does not seek validation from the crowd, nor does he conform to the standards set by others. His journey is defined by his own choices, his own beliefs, and his own sense of purpose. While the world moves in one direction, following trends and traditions without question, he chooses to carve his own path, even if it means facing resistance. Independence is his guiding force, pushing him forward even when the road is uncertain. He understands that true freedom lies in making decisions that align with his values, not in blindly following what others dictate. There is a certain courage required to reject conformity. The world often frowns upon those who refuse to fit in, labeling them as outsiders, rebels, or even misfits. But the man who walks alone does not fear these labels. He embraces them. He knows that the greatest minds, the most influential figures in history, were once seen as different. Every revolutionary idea, every groundbreaking discovery, and every change in society began with someone who refused to follow the norm. This man does not seek comfort in numbers. He finds strength in his individuality. He values his own voice over the noise of the crowd, knowing that true wisdom comes from within, not from the collective opinions of others. The world often pressures people to conform, to blend in, to follow a script that has been written for them. From an early age, individuals are taught to think a certain way, to act in accordance with societal norms, and to suppress their true desires for the sake of acceptance. But the man who walks alone does not allow these expectations to dictate his life. He questions everything, seeking truth rather than blindly accepting what he is told. He is not afraid to challenge authority, to defy outdated traditions, or to stand against popular opinions when he believes they are wrong. His independence is not an act of rebellion for the sake of being different. It is a conscious choice to live authentically, to be true to himself regardless of the consequences. Walking alone requires self-reliance. Without the support of a group, he must depend on his own abilities, his own wisdom, and his own strength. He cannot afford to wait for others to guide him. He must navigate his journey alone. This fosters resilience, teaching him to adapt, to grow, and to overcome obstacles without relying on external validation. He understands that the approval of others is fleeting, that the opinions of the world change like the wind, and that the only true measure of success is whether he remains true to himself. Even in moments of doubt, when the path seems lonely, he reminds himself that independence comes at a cost, but it is a cost worth paying for the sake of living life on his own terms. There is a deep sense of fulfillment that comes with choosing independence over conformity. While the crowd may find comfort in belonging and following the same path as everyone else, the man who walks alone experiences a different kind of freedom. He is not limited by the fears of others, nor is he weighed down by expectations that do not align with his purpose. He is free to dream, to create, to explore, and to discover his own destiny. His journey may not always be easy, but it is his own. Every step he takes is a testament to his strength, his courage, and his unwavering belief in himself. Solitude is not a weakness. It is a source of immense strength. The man who walks alone understands that being alone does not mean being lonely. It means having the ability to stand on his own, to face challenges without relying on constant support, and to find inner peace in his own company. While many seek companionship as a shield against their fears, he embraces solitude as a path to self-discovery. In the silence, he listens to his own thoughts, uncovers his deepest desires, and reflects on his purpose. Without the distractions of the outside world, he sharpens his mind, strengthens his spirit, and gains a clarity that those surrounded by noise may never find. There is power in learning to be content with oneself. Many fear being alone because it forces them to confront their inner struggles, their doubts, and their insecurities. The man who walks alone does not run from these things. He faces them head on. He understands that growth comes from within, that true strength is built in moments of solitude when no one is watching. In these moments, he learns resilience, self-discipline, and the art of relying on his own judgment. He does not need constant validation from others. He finds confidence in knowing that he can depend on himself. Solitude allows him to refine his thoughts and sharpen his focus. In a world filled with distractions, opinions, and external influences, it is easy to lose sight of one's true purpose. The man who walks alone steps away from the chaos to listen to his own intuition. He understands that clarity comes in moments of stillness, when he is free to think deeply, to dream without limits, and to plan without interference. This mental clarity gives him an edge, allowing him to move forward with purpose while others are caught in the noise of the crowd. Strength in solitude also means developing emotional independence. Many rely on others for comfort, for reassurance, for motivation, but the man who walks alone learns to generate these things from within. He does not need someone to push him forward. He motivates himself. He does not need constant encouragement. He believes in himself. When he faces failure, he does not look for someone to blame or someone to lift him up. He picks himself up and keeps going. This ability to find strength from within is what makes him unshakable, what allows him to keep moving forward, even when the world offers no support. There is a profound transformation that takes place when a person learns to embrace solitude. It builds patience, self-awareness, and a deep understanding of one's own capabilities. The man who walks alone is not weakened by his solitude, he is fortified by it. He becomes a person who is not easily influenced, not easily broken, and not easily discouraged. While others may seek comfort in numbers, he finds comfort in knowing that he is enough. He understands that solitude is not isolation, but a powerful tool that allows him to become the best version of himself. Standing alone requires a rare kind of courage, the kind that does not waver in the face of opposition, the kind that does not seek approval before taking action. The man who walks alone understands that the greatest battles in life are often fought without an army, that the most meaningful decisions are made without the reassurance of others. It takes strength to hold on to one's beliefs when the world demands conformity, to walk a path that others avoid, to endure the criticism that comes with being different. The man who stands alone does not choose this path because it is easy. He chooses it because it is necessary. There is an undeniable pressure to fit in, to align with the majority, to seek the comfort of acceptance. Many give in to this pressure, fearing rejection, fearing isolation, fearing the weight of their own convictions. But the man who walks alone does not let fear dictate his actions. He knows that true courage is not about being fearless but about moving forward despite the fear. He understands that standing alone means standing firm, even when faced with doubt, even when faced with ridicule, even when the world turns its back. The world has always challenged those who refuse to follow the crowd. The pioneers, the innovators, the revolutionaries, all were once voices in the wilderness, dismissed as dreamers, as troublemakers, as outcasts. Yet history remembers them not for the resistance they faced, but for the courage they displayed. The man who walks alone draws inspiration from them, knowing that every great change, every bold idea, every new discovery was born from the mind of someone who dared to stand apart. He does not seek validation from the majority because he knows that greatness often begins in solitude. Walking alone is not without its struggles. There are moments of doubt, moments when the weight of solitude feels unbearable, moments when he questions if the path he has chosen is worth the sacrifice. It is in these moments that courage truly reveals itself, not in the absence of fear, but in the refusal to surrender to it. The man who walks alone does not allow his doubts to define him. He acknowledges them, learns from them, and then moves forward with even greater determination. There is power in choosing to stand alone when necessary. It means being true to oneself, refusing to compromise integrity for the sake of acceptance. It means speaking out when silence would be easier, making choices based on principle rather than convenience. It means embracing the discomfort of being different rather than living a life dictated by the expectations of others. The man who walks alone understands that real strength is not found in numbers, but in conviction. He knows that it is better to stand alone with truth than to stand with many in falsehood. The courage to stand alone is not about isolation, but about independence, about refusing to be shaped by external pressures. It is about believing in one's vision, one's dreams, one's purpose, even when no one else sees the path. The man who walks alone does not fear rejection because he has learned that true fulfillment comes not from pleasing others, but from staying true to himself. The road may be long, the challenges may be many, but he walks forward with the knowledge that every step he takes is a testament to his strength, his determination, and his unwavering courage. The journey of walking alone is filled with challenges that test not just physical endurance, but mental and emotional strength as well. The man who chooses this path understands that it is not an easy road, that there will be obstacles at every turn, and that the comfort of companionship will often be absent. He faces moments of doubt, moments of exhaustion, moments when the weight of solitude feels unbearable. Yet he continues, knowing that growth is only possible when one dares to endure the hardships that come with independence. One of the greatest challenges of walking alone is the lack of external support. In a world where people rely on social connections for encouragement, reassurance, and guidance, choosing to walk alone means carrying the burden of every decision without the cushion of a safety net. There is no one to share the responsibility, no one to share the blame, no one to ease the struggles that arise along the way. The man who walks alone must find the strength to push forward even when the road becomes difficult, even when there is no one to remind him that he is on the right path. He must become his own source of motivation, his own guide, his own source of strength. Another challenge comes in the form of doubt. The mind is a powerful force. capable of creating obstacles even where none exist. The man who walks alone battles thoughts of uncertainty, moments when he wonders if he has made the right choice, if his path is leading anywhere, if the sacrifices he has made are worth it. He sees others moving in groups, finding comfort in numbers, avoiding the struggles that come with solitude, and he questions whether he should have chosen the same. Yet he understands that doubt is a test, a necessary part of the journey, a challenge that must be faced and overcome. He reminds himself that every great achievement, every meaningful success has come from those who dared to continue even when doubt threatened to pull them back. Loneliness is another battle he must face. Walking alone means experiencing moments where silence feels overwhelming, where the absence of companionship becomes a weight that is difficult to carry. There are times when he longs for someone to share the journey, someone to lighten the burden, someone to offer words of encouragement. But he knows that loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It is a lesson in self-reliance. It teaches him to find strength within himself rather than seeking it from others, to discover that true fulfillment does not come from external sources, but from the ability to be at peace with oneself. The path is often filled with external resistance as well. The world does not always welcome those who choose to walk alone. Society favors conformity, rewards those who follow the norm, and often discourages those who dare to take a different road. The man who walks alone encounters criticism, skepticism, and even opposition from those who do not understand his journey. He faces questions, judgments, and sometimes outright rejection. People tell him that his path is too difficult, that he should turn back, that he should follow the way others have chosen. But he knows that external resistance is merely a reflection of the fear others have of stepping outside their comfort zones. He refuses to let their doubts shape his choices. The greatest challenge, however, is persistence. Many begin their journey alone, filled with determination, but as time passes, the struggles wear them down. The man who walks alone must find the endurance to keep moving forward, to keep pushing through, even when progress seems slow, even when the destination feels out of reach. He understands that success is not achieved overnight, that the journey is long and filled with setbacks. But he also knows that every step, every challenge, every hardship is part of the process. He does not give up because he understands that the struggle is what shapes him, what strengthens him, what prepares him for the destination that lies ahead. The man who walks alone may not realize it at first, but his journey is more than just a personal test of strength and endurance. It is a source of inspiration for others who watch from a distance. In a world where many hesitate to step outside their comfort zones, where people often seek the approval of the majority before making a decision, the sight of someone forging their own path becomes a symbol of courage. He does not walk for recognition, does not seek admiration, and does not expect others to follow. Yet his determination and resilience naturally draw the attention of those who dream of a similar path but lack the confidence to take the first step. There are always those who silently observe, those who struggle with their own fears and doubts, unsure if they have the strength to break free from conformity. They see the man who walks alone, standing firm in his beliefs, pushing forward despite challenges, refusing to let obstacles define him. His perseverance becomes a quiet encouragement to those who need it most, A reminder that walking alone is not a sign of isolation, but of independence. He unknowingly gives others the strength to believe in themselves, to question the limitations they have placed on their own potential, and to consider the possibility that they too can choose a different path. The impact of his journey extends far beyond what he can see. The ripples of his actions spread through time, reaching people he may never meet, influencing minds that he may never speak to directly. The stories of those who dared to walk alone have always carried great weight, becoming legends that inspire generations. Those who choose to challenge the norm, to embrace solitude in pursuit of something greater, become the figures that history remembers, not for their loneliness, but for their bravery. The man who walks alone does not realize that in his persistence, in his refusal to be swayed by external doubt, he is leaving behind a path for others to follow, a blueprint for those who wish to take a similar road, but fear the unknown. Not everyone will openly acknowledge the inspiration they draw from him. Some will admire him from afar, but never express their respect. Others will take small steps toward their own independence, slowly gaining the courage to follow their dreams, because they have seen proof that it is possible. Even those who once doubted him, who questioned his choices, who tried to dissuade him from his path, may one day come to see the wisdom in his decision. They may realize that the strength he displayed was not stubbornness, but conviction. That his willingness to stand alone was not arrogance, but a deep understanding that some roads are meant to be walked without a crowd. The most powerful inspiration does not come from words, but from action. Many speak of courage, of independence, of the value of staying true to oneself, but few truly live by these principles. The man who walks alone does not need to convince others with speeches or explanations. His actions speak for themselves. He proves through his persistence that fear can be overcome, that solitude can be a source of strength, that walking alone does not mean being lost. He shows that the path less traveled is not meant for everyone, but for those who choose it. It leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose. Over time, he may come to realize that his journey was never just about himself. His struggles, his sacrifices, his determination were not only shaping his own destiny, but also lighting a path for others. He may never fully know how many lives he has touched, how many minds he has influenced, how many people have taken a step toward their own freedom because they saw him take that step first. Yet, whether he knows it or not, his journey is a testament to the power of one person's courage. A reminder that sometimes the most meaningful way to lead is not by standing in front of a crowd, but by walking alone with unwavering determination. Persistence is not just about moving forward. It is about pushing through every challenge, every doubt, every moment of exhaustion without giving in to the temptation of surrender. The man who walks alone understands that the road he has chosen is filled with obstacles, that there will be times when progress feels invisible, that there will be moments when turning back seems like the easier option. Yet, he refuses to stop because he knows that persistence is the key to unlocking the rewards that lie beyond struggle. He understands that every step he takes, no matter how small, is a step closer to something greater. The rewards of persistence do not always come immediately. There are days when his efforts feel unnoticed, when his sacrifices seem endless, when the weight of his choices presses heavily upon him. Others may not see the battles he fights, the silent moments of doubt he overcomes, the nights spent wondering if his journey is leading him anywhere at all. But he knows that persistence is not about immediate gratification. It is about trust. Trust in the process, trust in his purpose, trust in the belief that every challenge he endures is shaping him into something stronger. Through persistence, he gains resilience. The struggles that once seemed impossible become stepping stones. The fears that once held him back lose their power. The failures that once discouraged him become lessons instead of setbacks. He realizes that the very act of continuing, despite difficulties, is itself a reward. It strengthens his character, deepens his understanding, and builds a kind of inner fortitude that cannot be shaken. He sees that those who give up will never know how close they were to success, that many turn back just before they reach their breakthrough, that the greatest rewards often come to those who refuse to quit. With every challenge he overcomes, he gains confidence in himself. He no longer doubts his ability to handle adversity, no longer seeks reassurance from others, no longer fears the uncertainty of the road ahead. He has proven to himself time and time again that he can endure, that he can adapt, that he can find solutions even when the odds are against him. This confidence is a reward in itself, a reminder that true strength is not found in never failing, but in never allowing failure to define him. Over time, the results of his persistence begin to show. The progress that once seemed slow suddenly becomes visible. The efforts that once felt unnoticed start to bear fruit. The sacrifices that once seemed heavy turn into stepping stones toward something greater. The man who walks alone looks back and realizes how far he has come, how much he has grown, how the struggles that once seemed overwhelming has shaped him into someone he never thought he could become. He sees that every step, no matter how difficult, was worth it. Beyond the personal rewards, his persistence serves as proof to others that perseverance leads to achievement. Those who once doubted him, those who questioned his choices, those who believed his path was too difficult to follow, begin to see the results of his efforts. Some may respect him for his determination, others may be inspired by his resilience, and a few may even begin their own journeys because they have witnessed what is possible when one refuses to give up. He may not have set out to inspire others, but his persistence naturally becomes a testament to the power of perseverance. In the end, he understands that the greatest reward of persistence is not just the success that comes from it, but the person he has become because of it. He is no longer the same as he was when he started. He has been tested, refined, strengthened by every challenge he faced, and because he never gave up, he has earned something far greater than any external reward. He has earned the knowledge that he is capable of overcoming anything.